Okay. I think we're ready. It's been a while. Haven't done this show for a year and a half.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, because pretty close. Like, it was a while before the end of 2019. I should have checked the date when we looked at it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But we're going to go for a swim.
We're gonna go... Yeah, we're gonna visit the monkeys.
The monkeys?
Oh yeah! Davy Jones!
What does that have to do
And
with
Peter
monkeys?
and Michael and Hey they're the monkeys.
Oh, okay.
This is Davy Jones' lager. It's gonna... I think it's like filled with Nerf balls and Kool-Aid. If I had to guess, Nerf balls and Kool-Aid are in Davy Jones' locker.
Not an instrument of any kind. And...
That little tambourine thing he used to shake around.
Alright, well, hello everyone. Welcome to Little Viking Studios. My name is Mr. Gloves.
I'm not.
And we are looking into Davy Jones's locker for the...
Nerf balls and Kool-Aid.
This... Oh, shoot. We were going to do a bit and fuck it. I've already forgot. I don't care anymore.
We were gonna do a bit and fuck it. Davy Jones' locker.
Changing the name of the show.
Oh, the name change.
Yeah.
I forgot about the name change.
Yeah, so did I. That's why we're just
It is
gonna...
not Little Viking Histories now. It is
Wikipedia. Wikipedia, but...
Wikipedia.
But you're... I always read it as... Every time I've written it, I've read it as Wikipedia.
I would go with Wikipedia.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be, because Viking.
Well, that's because I'm always right. We've established that in previous episodes. I have not... That I remember. I remember.
You watch more of our content than I do, so I don't know.
I would have remembered that, because that's just true in all facets of life.
Yeah, of course you would remember
So I
that.
would... It
And
make sense
just
for
by
me.
saying it, you're right, so...
Well, you're not disagreeing with me. Now are you?
Not directly. Anyway, today, Davy Jones's locker. So, what is it about? From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, Davy Jones's locker is a metaphor for the bottom of the sea. It's just a metaphor?
It's a metaphor for the bottom of
The state of...
this dirt.
The state of death among drowned sailors and shipwrecks. It is used as a euphemism for drowning or shipwrecks,
Well, that makes sense, though, doesn't it?
in which the sailors and ships' remains are
sung to by the monkeys.
consigned to the depths of the ocean. Oh, so it's specifically for when you get lost, die out at sea and your body's not recovered.
Yeah, when you get eaten by fish.
Oh,
I'm a
Oh,
believer.
this is the worst part!
What?
The origins of the name of Davy Jones, the sailor's devil,
Davy Jones was the devil?
are unclear.
So when they said like the monkeys and the Beatles and all that was like devil music, they were actually right. Because Davy Jones,
Because of Davy Jones.
he is the ocean devil.
The sailor's devil.
The sailor's devil. Is there a Space Force devil? Who's the Space Force devil?
Trump. Davy Jones, the sailor's devil. The origins are unclear, with a 19th century dictionary tracing Davy Jones, what was that picture, to a ghost of Jonah. Why is Jonah highlighted? Oh, come on, you...
Because you can look up Jonah and the whale.
Jonah, or Jonas, is a prophet in the Hebrew Bible of the Northern Kingdom of Israel in about the 8th century BCE. He is and there's a camera directly in my path of reading,
In
so...
which he is called upon by God to travel to Nineveh and warn its residents of impending divine wrath.
If you see me doing my little...
I
reading
believe
dance-
there's more.
Just in case you see me doing my little reading dance, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get around the camera. Well, I'm gonna have to...
There was not more. There was only impending divine wrath.
Other explanations for this nautical superstition have been put forth, including an incompetent sailor or pub owner who kidnapped sailors. I
And
like that
He
story.
stuffed them on the
way
last
more.
train to Clarksville. Monkey song.
I don't even know the names of most monkey songs or their content. I fucking picked up what you were talking about.
Did you get it when I said I'm a believer? Because that's a monkey song too. Oh, we're done there though, because that's it. That's
Are
all I
we?
know. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Unless I think of another one.
Alright, the history of Davy Jones' locker. The earliest known reference of the negative connotation of Davy Jones's occurs in the 4 years voyages of Captain George Roberts by the author.
Boo to the name.
By Captain George Roberts. Well, it depends.
George Roberts.
Well, what year was it written? Maybe this was an exciting name for the year that was written.
It was like the 4 voyages of Captain Leopold von Schlipschenschliet. Now that would be fun if you had like Captain Leopold von Schlipschenschliet and his 4 magical voyages. The 4 magical voyages of Leopold von Schlipschenschliet. That's a much better title.
It's unfortunate that my own prejudices immediately make me picture him as a Nazi doctor.
I wanted to say Slip and Slide, but I decided that would be a weird last name, so I went Schlipschenschliet.
Who knows? God damn it. Slip and Slides by...
Slip and Slide and Schlipschenschliets.
Slip and Slides might be called Slip and Sleets.
Schlipschenschliets on the Slip and Slide.
Slip and Sleets.
Uh-oh, Schlipschenschliet shit himself on the Slip and Slide.
Still way more interesting than George Roberts and whatever the fuck he did.
Yeah, he had 4 years. 4 years voyage. 4 years voyages.
4 years voyages.
Did he have 4 years? 4 year-long voyages, or 4 years voyages?
He had several voyages that were 4 years.
Of his many voyages. Or is there a book of the lesser voyages of Captain George Roberts, like the shorter? The commuter trips of George Roberts? I would expect more than George Roberts from him.
And
I'm very disappointed.
Not to mention the name Daniel Defoe. Way more interesting than George Roberts.
Willem's great-grandfather, Willem Dafoe's great-grandfather, Daniel, really let me down.
Could have answered my question right here.
Great-great-grandfather.
you trying to just get
Willem
around.
Dafoe is not that.
How many greats do you have to go back to?
I don't know. I don't know. That's
if they're roughly 20 to 30 years.
Like 4, 5. The Defoes, they live a long time. It's a good bloodline.
Well, we're 6 years away from it being.
I think that's 3 generations of Defoes. They're about 100 years apart.
No, because we're about 6 years away from it being 300 years. And if I said about 20 to 30 years per generation, so let's call it 30 for a liberal estimate, that would be whatever 300 divided by 30 is. So 10 generations?
10 generations of Defoes.
Which would be 8 greats?
8 greats. His 8-time great Daniel.
We figured it the fuck out. 8-time great. Just like Larry Bird.
Larry Bird's an all-time great. He's an 8-time great.
All-time!
I'm fucking told. Some of Lowe's companies said... Who's Lowe? Wait, where was there a Lowe?
Lowe, he might have been the guy in the hat in the Monkees. There was a dude in the hat. I thought it was Peter, but it could have been Peter Lowe. Lowe's Company. Oh, it's Lowe's Company of sailor people. His soldiers of sailors.
But who was Lowe? Anyway.
He's the dude Daniel Defoe was writing about.
But wasn't he writing about George Roberts? Some of Lowe's companies said they would look out some things and give me along with
Windows. Come on. They would look out whatever the things you look out of are some things.
And give me along with me when I was going away, but Ruffle told them they should not, for he would toss them all into Davy Jones's locker if they did. That was the hardest sentence I've ever read in my life.
That is 1726 English. That's why Willem Dafoe is not a writer, he's an actor.
An early description of Davy Jones occurs in Tobias Smollett's The Adventures of Peregrine Pickle.
See, Peregrine Pickle, there's alliteration for you.
We got a fucking winner here, man.
Now that's a fun name.
And also the writer's name is fairly
Tobias Smollett.
Smollett.
That is, who's that person?
Jussie Smollett.
Jussie Smollett.
Who, faked being...
That is their great-grandfather.
This same Davy Jones, according to sailors, is the fiend that presides over all the evil spirits of the deep, and is often seen in various shapes, perching among the rigging on the eye of hurricanes. Or eve of hurricanes.
The eve of hurricanes.
Oh, so if you see him on your boat...
You know a hurricane's coming.
Yeah. Shipwrecks and... I assume the eve of shipwrecks and the eve of other other things.
Other stuff.
Other
stuff was popular in the 18th century.
But specific to seafaring. Other disasters to which seafaring life is exposed.
Things that, you know, if I was on a boat, I would be able to tell you.
You would know more than
Yeah,
I do. Warning the devoted wretch of death and woe.
I thought it was Lowe's company.
No, this is a new book.
Whoa.
Daniel Defoe wrote about
Oh,
Lowe.
right. Daniel Defoe had the woe, and Smollett had the Davy Jones. Davy Jones is described as having saucer eyes, 3 rows of teeth, horns, a tail, and blue smoke coming out of his tambourine. So when he shakes it, it's through his tambourine is blue smoke.
That's amazing! In the story, Jones is described as having saucer eyes, 3 rows of teeth. So he's a fucking shark with squid eyes.
Oh!
What
So
kind
that's
of
why they made Davy Jones in like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies look like that. Oh, that makes sense now. Except he was like a squid man or something, wasn't he? He had
Well,
a
that
tail.
was. I don't think that was Davy Jones.
He was blue. Oh, that was
But he was the captain of the.
yeah, Captain Don Treader. No, Spritz Splinkler? No, it wasn't Spritz Splinkler. I don't know what his name was.
Well, I mean, we're on the internet right here. Diversion tactic!
Squid Facehead Man.
I said squid thing from Pirates of Caribbean.
Possibly played by Jeffrey Rush.
But it is possibly played by. He was Davy Jones! I was totally wrong!
I was. Wait, so I was right again?
You were having.
Well, of course! That makes perfect sense!
I hate.
But now, was he played by Jeffrey Rush?
Portrayed by Bill Nighy.
Oh, it was Bill Nighy. That's right, it was Bill Nighy. Well, Jeffrey Rush is a better.
I'm sure you
Is he
said
good
that
at-
in your
good
head to
actor?
make sure that you were right. This right here, not specific enough for me. Horns and a tail. There are so many different tails in nature.
There are so many different horns.
Exactly.
You think horns out of the head, but was it a horn out of his stomach? Was it horns out of his arms? Were his hands horns?
Did he have the most amazing codpiece that was a natural horn?
Yeah, did his dick have horns?
Now this right here is by far the most specific thing, and I absolutely fucking love it. Blue smoke.
Yeah, he had a.
Specifically blue smoke.
He liked to snort blueberries.
Blueberries are fucking purple!
It was very, I don't know, weird. But
Don't
then
you
it wasn't really
smoked
smoke.
dry blueberries and blow his
He'd
blue
mush him up, but he's like blowing out with the snot. It's just, it looked like blue smoke because it's just like misty sprays of blueberry chunk, and the little skin looks like that's like smoke, and it flutters in the
you
wind.
made it so gross. The proposed origins of the tale.
Proposed. What? I guess we.
Well, it's unknown. It's unclear.
These are some things someone thinks might have happened once.
The origin of the tale of Davy Jones is unclear, and many conjectural or folkloric explanations
Yeah,
have
it's
been
a
told.
story that just propelled.
The Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue by Francis Gross,
Gross grass.
published in
Frankie Grossgrass.
1811, includes the definitions David Jones.
David. He was very official, this man. David Jones. He is no longer Davy.
We're going with the name your mother gave you. The devil.
A devil
The
would not call himself Davy. He would go by David. Like King David.
It's gotta show the man some respect.
King David. He didn't go by King Davy.
The devil, the spirit of the sea, which is Poseidon, obviously.
Neckin.
Called Neckin in the North countries. Okay, so the North
Neckin.
countries, such as Norway. Alright, so apparently the Norwegians
Well,
back in
that kinda
1811 were
Makes
hillbillies.
sense. Necken. Satan.
Oh, fine, make it make sense. And David Jones's locker, the sea.
The entire sea is his locker.
Oh,
That's where he
okay.
throws his sweaty gym socks.
Well, that's this
Right
guy's
in the
definition.
sea.
Let's see if anybody else comes up with a definition for the locker.
In 1898, someone wrote another book.
Dictionary of Phrase and Fable connects Davy to the West Indian Duppy. Duffy?
The Duffy. He's the Duffy.
It says West Indian Duppy, and then in parentheses it says Duffy. So I guess
he's the West Indian Duppy Jonah?
or is this just supposed to be
I read
pronounced-
ahead.
Or is it just supposed to mean pronounced Duffy?
So I guess Jones means Jonah, and Davey... That's stupid! You just broke down... Well, Davey could be Duppy, and Jones could be Jonah, so he could be a West Indian Duppy Jonah? This book is... I don't like this. 1898 was a horrible year for literature.
He's gone to Jones's locker, i.e. he is dead. And Jones is a corruption of Jonah, the prophet who was thrown into the sea. Locker, in the seaman phrase, means the receptacle for private stores.
Yeah, it's a locker.
And Duffy is a ghost or
apparition?
Spirit among the West Indian Negroes.
Oh! The West Indian Negroes.
How
How about that?
So the whole phrase is, he has gone to the place of safekeeping where Duffy Jonah was sent to. E. Cobbin Brewer can go fuck himself for making this the least fun explanation to exist.
I like Duffer Jones. Can we call him Duffer Jones now? A notoriously myopic
Duffer
sailor
Jones's locker.
who often found himself off the edge of the screen.
David Jones, a real pirate, although not a very well-known one, living on the Indian Ocean in the 1630s.
Well, wait a minute. If he's not a very well-known one, how do we know he was a pirate in the 1630s? How many other pirates do we know from the 1630s?
Because although he's not very well-known, he is still known.
I'd say he's pretty well-known. See, here's Duffer. Here's Duffer.
Oh, okay, so, alright, yeah, Duffer Jones.
Duffer, I like this because it's just he's an idiot.
Also, notoriously.
Notoriously myopic. He's the Donald Trump of sailors.
A notoriously myopic sailor who often found himself overboard.
Yes. The
So-
old Duffer Joe.
See,
Duffer!
That one I accept the most, just because, like, if Davy Jones's locker is the whole sea.
And all the Duffer Joneses end up in it's his locker because that's where he is. All the Duffer Joneses.
Alright,
And also Duffy Jones was a pretty good baseball player. Was it Duffy Lewis?
Oh, here we go with the murder.
I have them both.
A British pub owner who supposedly threw drunken sailors into his ale locker and then gave them to be drafted on any ship. Oh, that actually happened. That shit actually happened a lot. You know about that? Pubs used to be a place where, like, people would just get drunk and then get sold into militaries.
Well, that's, I guess, would be a reason to not go to pubs.
They had fucking trapdoors and everything.
Yeah.
It was fucking insane. We should do an episode about that. Linguists consider it plausible that Davy was inspired by Saint David of Wales, whose name was often invoked by Welsh sailors, and Jones by the biblical Jonah. So a much more concise way of saying that other thing.
Yeah, it's because they're linguists.
Not
Reputation.
all traditions dealing with Davy Jones are fearful. In traditions associated with sailors crossing the equatorial line, there was a raucous and rowdy initiation presided over by those who had crossed the line before, known as shellbacks. I wish it had given a fucking
Shellbacks.
Why not give a hyperlink on that?
They're turtles. They're turtles.
Or Sons of Neptune.
Well, how about okay? Men
is
of the Sea, Shellbacks.
The eldest shellback was called King
King
Neptune.
Neptune.
Blasphemy! And Davy Jones would be reenacted as his first assistant.
Whoa, they chucked somebody overboard. Holy shit.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Use in media.
Here come the monkeys. Oh, we're going to talk about the monkeys.
We're just gonna jump right to that. In the 19 you've been fucking hinting at this the whole time.
I didn't know it would
even
actually
know
be
it was
here.
actually gonna be on
I
here.
didn't think they would go with the monkeys, but apparently just because he has the same name.
In the 1960s television series The Monkees episode Hitting the High Seas, the character Davy Jones, played by musician
Davy Jones.
receives special treatment
He could only answer to Davy.
while kidnapped in a ship, as he claims to be related to the Davy Jones, I assume is the original Davy Jones, his grandfather. Meanwhile, his fellow band members are held hostage. What a dick! Leading to various humorous situations.
It's the monkeys. It was probably an excellent episode.
The fact that The fact that Jones the musician shared a name with the legendary Seafarer, has itself led to a number of puns swapping the two in the decades that followed. In the cartoon The Haunted Ship, I think this is a different thing.
Yeah, this is the haunted ship from Aesop's Fables.
Aesop's Fables. Series produced by the Van Buren Animation Studios, Davy Jones has been depicted as a living skeleton wearing a pirate's bicorn.
Ooh, a bicorn.
I want to see an adaptation with the blue smoke, and the horns and the tail, and the saucer eyes.
Oh God! Now we're going to SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, the Flying Dutchman! To represent an actual locker in... Oh, yeah, that's right. In SpongeBob SquarePants is an actual locker. Where Davy Jones, of the Monkees fame, keeps his gym socks. That is canon in SpongeBob SquarePants. That's awesome. Now, what's Lord Wu Fak Fak? What? In the binge... Oh my god, I fucking remember this!
Uh-oh, yo. There we
yeah,
go.
I got a little excited. No, in the Banjo-Tooie level, Jolly Roger's Lagoon, the infamous Davy Jones locker is found in the locker's cavern underwater. Here resides an anglerfish and the boss Lord Wu Fak Fak.
Oh yeah, Lord Wu Fak Fak.
Which they only put in so that way they could basically get away with you getting kids to say fuck fuck.
Lord Wu Fak Fak.
That's really awesome.
The band Rusty Ship.
See, also Fiddler's Green, that's a great band. Afterlife. Oh.
Actually, Fiddler's Green is an afterlife where there is perpetual mirth, a fiddle that never stops playing, and dancers who never tire.
In 19th century English maritime folklore, it was a kind of afterlife for sailors who had served at least 50 years at sea.
Oh, so it was for no one. You had to sail for 50 years. Like, that was... If you were born on a boat, maybe you lived that long back then?
Anyway, that's all there is for Davy Jones' locker.
Yeah. And it actually did refer to the Monkees.
Which was incredibly surprising.
And we learned Bill Nighy was the actor in Pirates of the Caribbean. Not...
Learned or
Rush.
were reminded?
We're reminded.
Well, guess what time it is?
What time is it?
Spinny-doo!
Wheel time!
Would you like to do it this time?
I'll spin the wheel.
Pull off Davy Jones' locker there.
We've pulled off Davy Jones' locker. We have spun the wheel.
Next episode, we will be talking about the Noid.
The Noid!
Domino's the Noid.
Oh, he had a whole video game made about him.
He
had the Noid game. He was cool. I believe he was friends with Terry Bradshaw.
And then it gets dark. Do you
Oh.
know why the Noid went away?
No. Terry Bradshaw?
I cannot fucking wait for this next episode.
Well, how about that? We're gonna learn why the Noid was very bad for Terry Bradshaw. Is that why he retired?
Did he die?
No, he's still alive.
Then it wasn't Terry Bradshaw.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this story ends in death.
So the Noid killed somebody. We'll learn who it was,
Kind of.
next week.
Next week. Do not make fucking promises like that.
Well, whenever I get into the habit of saying these things.
Oh god, we are not one of those channels.
No, it just seems like a natural thing to say. It is untrue, but natural.